Is this season to be jolly? Well, it depends who you ask. The Serbian Davis Cup team will say yeah, while the England World Cup bidding team would say Bah Hambug. Yes, it's the same highs and lows you can expect when the relatives come over for the festivities. Hi there, I'm Patrick with this edition of the Midweek Highlight Show from the stadium at Hoohaa.my. Heard about the new sitcom? Everybody Hates FIFA. And it was all about the hosting of the 2018 and 2022 World Cup. Even the FIFA president said that it was unprecedented to award two host venues at the same council voting session. And after the lobbying and the presentations were done, it was decided Russia gets the 2018 and Qatar will host the 2022 event. Obviously, the failed bidders, the US, the Belgium-Dutch bloc, the Spain-Portugal cartel, and especially the English camp, who are questioning the voting process, the so-called confidential votes, and the possible existence of bungs, or, However, take nothing away from the joy of the peoples from the two major regions, the Greater Russia and the Middle East. Russia aims to inspire with its venues, history and hospitality, and the vodkas could be overflowing as well, and the promises of easy connectivity between the four cluster cities hosting the event. While Qatar intends to amaze with stadiums of the future, like this one, with a 420,000 square feet media walled facade. And realizing that the new venues will potentially become white elephants, the constructions of these venues will enable the Qataris to dismantle them after the World Cup and re-erect it in developing countries as its contribution to the footballing world. I'm sure they'll do it as they got the cash to build whatever the mind can conceive. But let's not get ahead of the game. Think about it. It was only 5 months ago that we had the World Cup in South Africa and still have the 2014 tournament in Brazil. And as I've told my friends, if there is one World Cup that you should attend as a once-in-a-lifetime event or a thing to do, it will have to be watching the World Cup live at the true origin of the term, the beautiful game, Brazil. Well, we'll leave that for now as we will get to more football news in a bit, that of Malaysia's plight in the Suzuki Cup. But now briefly to tennis. Serbia has won the much-coveted Davis Cup after defeating France 3-2, and Viktor Troicki was the hero after he thumped Michael Laudrup in straight sets. Serbia becomes only the 13th nation to win the cup since its inception in 1900. Next to golf, Tiger Woods almost won his first tournament since his infamous comeback, but it was Graeme McDowell's come-from-behind effort that saw the Ryder Cup winner pick up his fourth title of the season at the Chevron World Challenge in California. McDowell cut Woods' 4-shot lead, then led by 2 after the 13th hole, and eventually tied at the 16th after a round of 72. Then, in sudden death, McDowell beat Woods' on the first playoff hole when he birdied his shot, while Woods' putt slid by the cup. Monsieur Woods is without a win since 2009, and with this finish, along with the pending Christmas break, you can bet that Tiger will regain his form and pick up a win before the summer of next year. Now to squash. The Malaysian women's squash team once again picked up third placing at the World Team Championships in New Zealand. We beat the hosts 2-1, while Australia, who defeated us in the semis, claimed the title again after a victory in the final over England. All in all, it has been a good year for Malaysian squash and a great year for Nicole David. So it's time she hung up a Christmas stocking and celebrate. I wonder what would Nicole want for Christmas? But I do know what Malaysian football coach Raja Gopal wants this season. Some saving grace from his squad who are facing a torrid time at the Suzuki Cup. The tournament, formerly known as the Tiger Cup, pitting ASEAN nations for the title of best in the region, is being held in Indonesia. In the opener, Malaysia were hammered 1-5 by the hosts, then gained some composure holding Thailand to a scoreless draw. Now we have to beat Laos convincingly, then hope Indonesia, who have already qualified, beat Thailand. And I do believe the Indones won't be doing us any favours. Now to the European Football League roundup. In the BPL, Arsenal lead the table going into the Christmas football frenzy fixtures, also thanks to Chelsea's continued frailties and Manchester United's postponed game against Blackpool. Arsenal got a 2-1 win over Fulham, while Chelsea were held by Everton to a 1-1 draw. Man City picked up 3 points over Bolton, while Spurs gave up a goal as Birmingham came to draw that home match 1-1. Sunderland sent West Ham to another defeat as West Ham bounced back into the top 10 after a 3-1 win over Newcastle. This weekend into Monday, there will be two big fixtures. It's the London derby between Chelsea and Spurs on Sunday, while Arsenal go head-on with Man United at Old Trafford on Monday night. Man oh man, what a weekend of football this is going to be. Next to the Italian Serie A. All eyes were on the Lazio-Inter Milan match at the weekend, and there was a winner. And it wasn't the team from Milan. The red half of Milan still maintained their 3-point advantage after a 3-0 win over Brescia, while the Friday night fixture, Lazio beat Inter 3-1. Juventus picked up all 3 points away at Catania, while there was a home win for Sampdoria and an away win for Genoa. There will probably be no matches this weekend in Italy as the Italian Players Association, AIC, announced that Serie A players will go on strike this weekend, following a dispute between the AIC, the Players Union, and Lega Calcio over a new collective contract. The strike follows a rejection by the top-flight clubs to reopen talks about a new contract, which lays down basic rights of players. The agreement had expired in the summer, and the AIC said that players would strike if a new one was not reached by the 30th of November. Don't mess around with the spaghetti squad. And now, what is happening in the land of the schnitzel? Bundesliga leaders Borussia Dortmund extend their lead at the top from 7 points last week to 10 this week and are virtually running away with the title as winter falls on continental Europe. Dortmund were 2-0 winners away at Nuremberg. Mainz lost on the road to Eintracht Frankfurt. Bayer Leverkusen closed in on second with a win over Cologne, while Hannover's 2 goals in 2 minutes was enough to come from a goal down to beat Borussia Mönchengladbach. Freiburg moved up to 5th after a home win over Hamburg, and Bayern Munich slipped a couple of places when they lost to Schalke. The one to watch this weekend is an interesting one. Leaders Dortmund entertain Werder Bremen. Time to feast on some paella with the Spanish Primera Liga. Barcelona continued to lead after arriving only minutes before their game with Osasuna, assuming that the match was called off due to a strike by Spanish air traffic controllers. They had to travel by train and coach to get there. But it was worth it as they came away with a 3-0 win, Lionel Messi bagging a brace. Real Madrid kept pace after their humiliation at the hands of Barca last week with a 2-0 win over Valencia, as Villarreal and Espanyol picked up wins. Real Sociedad were big movers, up into 6th, thanks to a 2-0 win over Athletic Bilbao. And as predicted, the brick that was pulling Sevilla down has turned into a boulder after losing to Villarreal. Next week, they could be out of the top 10 and possibly without a manager as well. There could be some disruptions to the fixtures if air traffic is not resumed by the weekend. Otherwise, the one to watch is the fixture between Barcelona and in-form Real Sociedad. If it ends in a draw and Madrid beat Zaragoza away, Barca will still lead a week before the final round of fixtures before the Spanish Christmas break. And that's all for this week. Until our next update from the stadium at Hoohaa.my, you stay safe.